Hey everyone, how you doing today? I thought I'd show you an update on the Stargate CV, and it is definitely coming along. So I've been working kind of the monotonous work of texturing the whole hull. Been doing that last last while. I don't know how many days, but I did finish texturing the entire hull on it now. Some areas I think will need a little bit more tweaking, especially around the hangar bays and a little bit on the bottom side, but you get a general idea on what the ship is looking like. I did add in an accent color, and that is this kind of like brownish, copper, bronze kind of color. Thought it went well with the other colors on the ship. It actually kind of feels about right. Now, when I first started building this and wanting to paint it, I couldn't get out of my head like the original Stargate movie, where you had like a desert and that flying pyramid thing and stuff like that. So I was kind of trying to make this blend in kind of more of a desert theme look to it, if there is such a thing. But essentially all the colors on here have a kind of a matching yellow tint to them, and like all the grays, and it's using a lot of grays, were all made starting with like some shade of yellow, and then I would dial down the saturation until it became gray, and also the vibrance or intensity of it to dial that in to be whatever like darkness of gray I want, like the dark gray or the light grays in here, stuff like that. But they're all color matched to a particular yellow tone, and everything on the ship is except for the blue texture lights. And you could, it doesn't look too different if you just look at it by itself, but if you look at it next to like a true gray ship, like the Helios over here, you can definitely see there is a distinct difference in its overall tint. Basically this got that yellow tint, this doesn't have a tint, it's just gray. So I definitely kind of like that, and the overall texture scheme on this is kind of like well, it's a new one for me, but it's kind of like taking Skaar 2.0 and trying to blend it with humans, but also adding in that tint with a different color texture light setup. So anyway, let's fly around the ship a little bit. I'll show you the rest of it here. I just want to talk about how it was painted, and little things like that make me excited. So I mean, it's like it's kind of fun. You could do the same kind of tint operation if you wanted like a cooler like space look to it. You could have like an underlining like some kind of blue tint to it, or you could have like a reddish background tint or a greenish one. It all depends what you're trying to accomplish. But that is just a viable option on something you could do with colors. And I normally don't do that. I normally just kind of leave it straight up gray like all the human creations and things like that. But I definitely kind of like, this is fun. This is kind of fun. I gotta have some new colors and stuff to play with here. So you can kind of see the whole bottom side is all textured up too. It does have quite a few texture lights in there. Maybe a little bit too much. I'm thinking I'll probably try to get these in a little bit better order with all the different texture lights. They don't necessarily all line up quite how I'd want them right at the moment. But yeah, pretty minor stuff here. Module bays painted. It looks a little bit too grubby right now, so I might get rid of some extra lines in here to try to make it look a little bit not as run down, I guess you could say. Again, I'm trying to get that look between fancy, new, and it's been out in the field for quite a while, and just got some wear and tear on it. So on the interior area, I started laying out the central area where everything kind of comes together on the ship. So here, I explained in the last video too, you got your front loading ramps over here. You've got your bridge, which is right up over there. There's another elevator there. You've got your two hangar bays off to the sides over here, and then you got your module bays on the other side over here. So like all the points of the ship come together here in the middle. In this middle area, I wanted to have like some kind of, I don't know, atrium or something like that. So you got a few different decks, elevator kind of going up like you're walking into a hotel or something like that. And each deck, would have like different stuff going on in it, and it's all kind of close together. So in this general area here, I'm going to build out production, farming, all your utility stuff, pretty much all the places you want to go to on the ship using the ship in game, unless you're like adding a part to engineering or something like that. So hopefully, despite the size of the ship, it'll all you won't have a lot of walking to do. Now, having this like atrium thing here too, it's got pros and cons. Con obviously is it uses a lot of space and kind of wastes a lot of room on the ship. On this particular build, I don't care because I got a lot of room to work with, probably more so than I actually know what to do with at the moment. But we'll see how that all works out. But a pro to it is like I don't particularly like the elevators in the game. Going up the elevators, they take up a whole lot less space than staircases. But yeah, operating a ship like this in game, I would be using my jetpack full time. So with an open air section like this, you could just jetpack up to whatever deck you want to get to real quick and not have to use the elevator. So that's kind of a pro to it. Not to mention, I think it could look kind of neat. Well, we'll see how it all turns out in the end. This is just temporary blocks I threw here to try to establish like where the floor heights are going to be and the shapes of things. And there's a lot more room in this ship. Even in the hangar bays on the sides here, there's actually a lot of room out in this general area here on the sides of the hangar, and there's a ton of room moving forward in the ship, which goes forward quite a ways. So, yeah, as in space, I am absolutely not worried about room on this thing. Now, I'm going to try to, give it locations for all kinds of parts that it won't come with. A lot of like shield bays and just everything. Probably drone bays. There's a lot of parts you can add to a build now, and I'll try to make placeholders for all of that stuff. It won't come with most of them, simply because I want to keep the CPU dialed in to no more than Core 9 and be like totally functional. Basically, you can take it out and use it just fine at Core 9 or something like that. It might not even be Core 9. Could end up being a Core 7. Now, right now, with all its turrets on it, not enough power generation, though. It's sitting at 543,000 CPU, and that is with 14 light Gatling turrets currently and 8 sentry guns. But honestly, yeah, it doesn't have a shield, doesn't have a warp drive, doesn't have enough power generation, any of that stuff yet. So it will, the CPU should balance out pretty good on this, I think, overall. As in its motion, this will slow down a little bit more, but it's moving all right. It's not wonderful, but it's pretty good. So 67 forward, 33 strafing, 50 lift, 33 reverse, and 23 down. And this is with all ion thrusters. So that is one thing I do like about Reforged Eden 2 is the fact that you got your ion and then your plasma and then your antimatter thrusters. So you got two like upgrades above where they're at right now for the thrusters without taking up any more space or anything like that. So you could certainly soup this up to be a lot faster flying than what it is. But yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at with the build right now, and just wanted to see what you think of it. And if you got any other suggestions, please let me know. Now, there's one thing I forgot to mention, and I might get into this too. It'll take a little bit, but no, I wasn't gearing this ship up to be a combat ship at all. But if it had some heavy launcher positions, that'd be kind of cool too. In case you wanted to use it as combat, you could certainly. I mean, the overall front hull shape on it is kind of that of a lot of different kind of combat ships, maybe a little bit bigger in this case, but where you could certainly reinforce the crap out of this front area and have it put in decoys and lots of tough blocks and all that kind of stuff, and make it take a pounding on the front side, and then put all your guns and stuff on the back part of the ship, and you could kind of work it like a combat ship that way. But yeah, I'm not really. To me, it's too big. It's just too big, really, to be an effective combat ship. There's too much ship to move around and things like that. And with all the thrusters it already has in place, it would really chew up with some CPU you'd want for adding guns and things like that for a combat ship. So that's another reason why I don't think it would be a very good combat ship. If it was scaled down significantly, the general shape would work for a combat ship. But yeah, it's kind of big. It's supposed to be a carrier of some origin. In this case, with a module bay as well. So, other than that, I will shut up and please let me know what you think of it, and I will talk to you later.